Good morning, everybody. Today I am here to talk about my book, which I have started in 1992, and I went on doing research on the topic called Islamic History in India. So, actually, when I was in college, during this period, I had an argument with a friend of mine, a classmate, Hari Krishna. So, this guy, he was talking about uh, the history during the medieval times, and he came up with a argument that Aurangzeb converted everyone to Islam and there were no Hindus in India. But it has been refuted by me, and that idiot didn't want to accept it. That was just a statement. When I spoke about Shivaji, when I spoke about Chatrasal and others, then he didn't want to accept that such foolish people are existing in India even today. They come from the leftist background. So I wanted to do more research on the subject and didn't plan to write the book then. So I started most of the time you need primary sources. That is, you need to learn the language, Turkish, Persian, in which these uh, chronicles have written it, or the historians have written it. Fortunately for us, the British have done movement, which also I used for the research. That's one of the books. Of course, there are many books. Uh, Hunter, Taylor, all this are there. And then we have also travels. People who traveled to India during the Islamic period also they wrote a lot about what they saw, the society, starting with Ibn Battuta from Tangiers, and we also have this during Ghazni, Muhammad Ghazni time. We've got Udbi and other people who have come to India, and they have put everything in books. So this Ghori is the one who didn't have any poets or any kind of artist in his court. But Ghazni Muhammad had a lot of poets. He was fond of poetry. So who is um, who is from Tangiers, from Africa, and he visited India during Muhammad Tughlaq's time. Then he would end up writing about after traveling in Konkan. He would end up writing about the Brahmins of Konkan. He would say, he would mention that there were the Brahmins were living up to 250 years. In some places, some lived for 150 years. The lifespan was very high compared to modern day. So this is one thing which you should know. And also he talks about the cruelty in Madurai, the sultans of Madurai, how they ill-treated their subjects. So that's another interesting thing which you will come across. Anyway, I'll start talking about my book now. The book is divided into 7 parts. The first part I'm talking is the birth of Islam to end of the Lodis. So, birth of Islam happens to start in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia at the time was nomadic. So, the place what you call Medina today was called the Yathrib in those days. So, BCE, the common era. I don't use AD and BC because there is no proof that Christ was born on December 25th or that uh, this particular AD, what you say, Anno Domini, has happened because Christ himself is considered mythical by science. So when you have this, so there is no point in using AD and BC because these people have already, the archaeologists and the historians have managed to um, take out he did it math. He again went on marrying many times, including his daughter-in-law, adopted son's wife, whom he saw. He said to it is said that he has seen her scantily dressed, and then he fell in love with her. He wanted him. Then he wanted to marry her. Then his adopted son divorced. Initially, Islamic law allowed. I mean, Islamic law is the law which he has propounded. That's a different story. Uh, he, actually, he accepted adoption initially, and then he said no, Islam does not allow adoption. because he wanted to marry. He wanted to make that marriage legitimate. So he's nobody wants to, nobody should criticize him. Anyway, coming back to Muhammad, early life, he said he had a vision of God. He preached oneness of God, and then he said there should not be idol worship. This is again coming from Jewish and Christian tenets. Then Kaaba temple was existing. So in Mecca, he would flee from that place because there was strong opposition. He was abusing them. He was abusing the idol worship. So he had to leave the place called. He went to a place called Medina in 622. He was born in 570 CE. He went to Medina at 620 on 622 CE. He was 53 years old when he went to Medina. He preached Islam in zeal. The nomadic people, so they were. It's very not unusual that a person went to another place, because in this place you have opposition. You are a businessman. You do business today here. Your business is not working here. Tomorrow you go caravans and you're going away to another place. So that we can consider it that way, rather than believe that he fled for his life. So they didn't want to kill him. It's only a story which is presented by the Islamic historians in a wrong way. Anyway, he ul Nabi. So it is also known in this with the same name. He was buried there. So the Muslims believe that it was the Quraysh community that drove him out of to Mecca, out of Mecca. So this during his journey, it's said that um, birds came and pigeons came and laid nests, and also cobwebs have been in cave. There is a cave called Cave Mount Thor. It's about 1 hour journey from Mecca. Here, pigeons have already made nests and laid eggs. Spiders have spun webs instantaneously. So the pursuers, who sent by Quraysh community, felt that there was nobody inside the cave, but they spent till midnight, and Abu Bakr was with him. So they left, and this is only an imaginary story which may not have happened as the Muslims believe. So after 12 days journey, he reached Medina. So these things which you will know is from Al Tabari. So 1988, the book has been published by. Uh, it's in volume. You can read the whole book, Al Tabari book, from US. It's somewhere in New York, I believe. That's the reference which I have. Then Quraysh attempt to assassinate Muhammad is a popular story, which may not be true, because there is no need for them to pursue and kill him. It was only he didn't have big troubling others. Then it would have been a different story. But as far as I see, Quraysh didn't have that kind of hatred towards these people. They were more tolerant, according to Muslims themselves, which will come later stage. Only thing is, to those people, revert. They became reverts to paganism, and he immigrated. Muhammad immigrated. This is what with about a dozen disciples. He didn't even have many disciples then. That was in 616 CE. This time he had about 82 to 111 disciples who exiled. And these self-exiled disciples returned to Mecca after 6 months from 6 months to 13 years. Some of them have converted to Christianity, and then some of them became Christian. Some of them died there. Some of them came back. So it it is again different way what he planned and what went on for this and insult of the religions and customs. So Quraysh slapped Taif 690, but he insulted Al-Lat, a deity whom the Tafites worshipped. So then they started problem. Then this man became violent. He said, "Jihad fi sabilillah, in the way of Allah, the jihad should tell Islam alone exists in the world. Other religions should be wiped out." Here, the extreme patience of non-Muslims have resulted in they not only lost their lives but also religion, and they not only responsible for losing their own lives but also because these people they should have treated him well at the time of heaven, but he didn't accept when he tried to do everything peacefully. He didn't accept. Now he started, and their forefathers whom he claimed that they are in hell. So the moment a person believes that is told that his father is in hell, angry. Any person will get angry. So this is how they started prostration while praying. So Muhammad was dejected, even though Abu Talib raised he didn't stop his hatred for that. Anyway, the rich 634 to Umar Khalifa. He won Jerusalem in 634 CE. Jerusalem was a holy place for Jews and Christians also. The Christians fought crusades to regain it, but Muslims retained Jerusalem. During Umar's regime, Rhodesia is South Africa, all came under his rule. Ali was fourth Caliph. He was son-in-law of Muhammad Prophet. He had two sons, Hassan and Hussein. During the regime of Ali, Caliphate wars were waged on Muhammad himself said culture of destruction of temples. He said there should be idol worship. So he's the first person to destroy 360 idols in Kaaba temple. So these Muslims are just following their prophet. Destruction that was going on because they never had this news. They were fighting among themselves. That's a different story. We will talk about it once we come into that. So Zoroastrians, as I said, these Muslims they went on fighting the Zoroastrians in many wars. And the last war was fought in 681. Navhan was last India, king of Gujarat, given three vows that they will not kill cows in India, and they so this is the reason why. This is how the wars went on with Persian Empire lose, because Persian Empire became the second great power after fighting for 1,000 years with Byzantine Empire. That's the reason why they lost to a meager power, a very small power of Islamic world from Islam, the nomadic Islam. So the best cities like Rome, Syria, Spain, Gaudrich, everything has been burned from history. So one day they came to India and we lost freedom. So initial attacks, 668 CE, Mahalab came up to Multan victory. He sent Khalifa. Both the girls, he was a Brahmin ruler, so the girls lied to the Khalifa, saying that this Qasim, after death of Qasim, the barbarians were expelled. Son of Dahir went to Bappa Rawal, and Bappa Rawal was ruling Mewar then. So that story will come in chapter 6. So what every 50 kilometers there were military posts established, and they were vigilant. For next 300 years there was no barbarian who dared to enter India, because they were vigilant and they had this intelligence. So Sanatana Dharma followers should not be transferred to the Haram, because we never had these rules of taking up the title Yam Daula, and was called as Sultan of Delhi.